Oh, we are live, everyone. It is another, I don't know how many Man Up Mondays we are now, but we're here every week, 9 a.m. PST, 12 Eastern, and 6 in Spain, and wherever you are in the world. Today, we have a really, really special guest. We were going to be talking about a lot of different things, but he wants to talk about dating and relationships. And I think that's an important topic, especially to the men out there that want to man up. Like Mike, how many of your private clients in the Wolfpack Brotherhood are interested in attracting and keeping and having like an amazing woman in their life?
But let's just be fairly honest. Like in all reality, what men they do to a certain point has to do with how can I attract women? And, at some point in your life, you get so old and you get values. How can I keep this amazing woman in my life? So I think a lot of the things men, they do is to serve women and attract women. Yeah.
Amazing. And I just want to share it with you guys about the show. We dive deep into what it means to level up as a man today. And today we're going to have Rob Lipsett, YouTube creator, fitness entrepreneur, online business coach. Rob has built a massive following by helping guys take charge of their health, grow their confidence, and create the freedom to live life on their own terms. So without further ado, let's bring in Rob. Woohoo!
How we doing?
What's up, Rob? Good to see you.
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. So now we were actually going to talk about the usual fitness and health. But then I heard Carmelia is a matchmaker. I'm like, that's a very interesting career. So you know what? We might as well. We'll talk about some dating. We'll talk about relationships. We'll talk about everything.
Amazing. Well, let's start with the fact that you're both many, many things, but you're both clearly physically fit. You both, that's undeniable, right? And when you're on a dating app, and even for single women or any women, one of the first things you notice about somebody is their physique. So Rob, when it comes to that, like, have you always been that way? And do you think your physique helped attract your wife today? Like, tell me about that.
Absolutely. I think it is one of the things that every man can change. People say like they don't have time, and I'm like, it takes less time to eat less food, and everyone can make it to the gym for 3 hours a week, 3 full body sessions. I think it's one of the lowest hanging fruits that all men can achieve in terms of being attractive to the opposite sex. And not only are you going to be more attractive to the opposite sex, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel more confidence. It's actually why I'm in the fitness industry, because I think fitness is the foundation of everything. Fitness and health, it just has the biggest knock-on effect in anything, dating, confidence, business, everything. And that's why I think it's just where every man should start on their road to self-improvement. I think it's the most important thing in the world, because if you don't have your fitness and health, you're on top of that, you're in the ground, you're nothing. So I think that's where everything begins.
I agree.
I'm Rob Lipsett, and I believe in fitness. Have you ever seen Pain and Gain, the movie? I'm Daniel Lugo, and I believe in fitness. That is me. I love that movie.
Oh my goodness. So Mike, what in your work with men, and I know you do a lot of coaching calls, and and one of the things that you have branded yourself in is that you are the guy that helps, stop this self-sabotage. What is the reason that most of these men struggle with maintaining this discipline and having a fitness regime?
Yeah. So the most interesting part here is that I help 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs with that, because, when these men, they come to a point in their life where money's not a problem. They've been chasing the money all their life, and now they got the money. Then that's when they realize, when they look themselves in the mirror, they'd be like, shit, what the heck is this in front of me? And they kind of thought that happiness was at the end of the rainbow, right? You get the gold, but now they're lacking peace. And the peace that they are looking for is in the way they conduct themselves. So I'm helping them with character, because behind your fitness is your character. Behind your body is your discipline. Behind your relationship is the man. And a lot of these guys, they have built a bank account, but they forgot to build the man. So I help them build the man that they never really built. I give you an example. I had a call yesterday with a person who signed up for my top tier. He was a 32-year-old multi-millionaire. And he said this to me. He said, when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, oh my God, not another day. Then I look myself in the mirror and I almost get sad. And that's what they feel, because when you go to the mirror don't show you your bank account. It shows you. It shows your habits. And if you're not proud of that guy right there, I don't think money can kind of compensate for that.
Exactly. And one thing, so me and Mike, we're obviously Marbella OGs, we live here in Marbella. It's where I'm calling from today. And a very common sight is you see some dude driving a supercar with a big gut. And I look at that and I have to say, I'm like, this guy's got his priorities wrong. I don't think it's cool. Whereas I see this, and you do see the odd time, you see this jacked motherfucker and he's driving a supercar and I go, yes, like that is cool. Yeah, this guy's got his priorities right. But the other way around, it just doesn't hit the same.
I agree. Even if you see a jacked dude on his scooter, you'd be like, this guy got some.
I'm like, this guy's living life. You.
So that's interesting. In my line of work, there's a lot of men that feel as if money is enough to attract women. And unfortunately, there are women that don't really care about that physique. However, I feel as if they understand that it's more of a transactional relationship versus, a relationship where a woman really respects and admires that person. Because like, if you care about your partner, I know as a woman, I want my partner to live a long time. I want their health to be the number one priority, because health is wealth. Without that, you can't do anything else. So, Rob, you're a married man and you're a new father. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
What did being a dad do for you in terms of, the way that you live your life and how you want to show up for your family?
It put it into perspective of what matters in life. It really put my priorities straight. And now I want to be, the fittest, most successful, financially set individual I can be for my family. Now, after I look at Linda, my wife, and Isabel, and I just say, everything's for them, So it's very motivating. It makes you cut out lots of bullshit in your life. And it's like the ultimate self-improvement project, really. Having a kid and a family, it makes you sort your shit out, really.
Amazing. Mike, what would you say, the impact your daughter has had on your life?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
We're both girl dads.
Yeah, we're both girl dads. Well, she saved my life. She doesn't know that yet, but she saved my life. I was at a point in my life where I've been going down the wrong path for so many years. I got so much money, and my old version inside of me just didn't know how to handle that. And I was an egocentric, desire, lust-driven man. And then when my daughter was born, it wasn't immediately, but it was after a period of time, especially after the breakup with baby mama. And I looked myself in the mirror. And for the first time in my life, I decided to serve another person on the highest state. As Rob said, that's where I gave up all my egocentric pleasures to just make sure that this little person that did not decide to come into my hands, that I make sure that little person has the strongest form of inspirational guide through her life. So I changed because of her. I changed everything because of her.
I love that. I'm going to ask you gentlemen here, how can men use fitness as an anchor for mental and emotional strength?
So I love what you said there with the word anchor. And I actually watched a podcast with The Rock. And he talked about how fitness anchors his entire day. He's one of the most famous people on the planet. He is like the original action Hollywood star. He's probably one of the busiest guys in the world. And he says the most important part of his day is working out. And he schedules all his meetings and everything around that workout of the day. So once I heard that interview, it's a very old interview, like I'd say 2017, 2018. Once I heard that interview, it actually changed my life. I said, if he's doing that, then why can't I? And that's the level of priority, the level of focus I place on my fitness. Everything else is secondary. So once I heard that interview, and he literally said that word, he said anchor. He said it anchors my day. It changed my perspective on a lot of things. And so once you do that, you'll find that everything else in life falls into place.
Mike, what do you think?
It's spot on. So, I see it as this, when you guys drink coffee, right? So I stood one morning. Remember, I've read so many books, man. A lot of them I never really did anything from the books. But it was at one point in the morning, and I think it was 1.5 years ago. I'm sipping the first sip of my coffee. And I'm thinking, who is drinking that sip? And I realized that, my God, man, I just wake up and I just am who I am. But I actually have an opportunity to decide who I want to be. So the anchor for me in the morning hours is to work on who I want to be that day. And I want to be this inspirational warrior, high moral standards, fitness, hard work. There's so many things I want to be. And I anchored that person in the early hours. And I literally use fitness as a weapon to take that lazy version of me and say, you do not rule my life. You're not drinking that sip of that coffee. And I even took it to an extreme, right? I took 1 year, 365 days in a row. I know Rob knows that. 365 days in a row, I dived into an ice bath, 4 a.m. in the morning. and it's crazy. But it made me understand that I decide who I am. So I think the anchor part is so spot on because you decide who you are. And if you go to the gym, and I've seen Rob work out, he doesn't work out light. He goes. So when he's there, he goes. And that sets the tone for the rest of his day. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
I love it.
For sure.
All right. We're going to get a little bit emotional here. Okay, guys. I see a lot of pressure around being strong as a man and versus being open. So how do both of you balance vulnerability and strength in your lives?
It's a tough one because I hate complainers, and I hate people that whine over nothing, and I hate people that bitch and moan all day. But it is important as men, especially men who are in a good position in life, to talk about their struggles and to be vulnerable. As it does help a lot of other guys as well. So it's kind of a tightrope. It's a balancing act that is very difficult to walk. So it's important to, in my opinion, not complain. But it's important to also teach other people your lessons that you've been through. So I really I don't have a perfect answer for you. The only answer that I have, it's a tightrope that you have to walk, and you have to be strong and not complain. Just fucking get on with it most of the times. But there is times when it's going to help a lot of other guys if you talk about some fucking tough shit that you went through and how you got through it.
Yeah. Mike?
I actually heard an interview with Shaquille O'Neal the other day, and he's sitting there and he's quite emotional. He sheds a tear, and the interviewer asked him, how is it to be Shaquille O'Neal? He said, I'm all right. I'm all right. I got it covered. And then he explains, he said, you have to understand your job as a man is to remove the stress from your woman. Your job as a man is to carry the load for your woman. Your job is not to come home and share your stresses or share the financial bills or share all your problems, because then you're going to have two stressed people there. So your job as a man is to hold it and to carry it. And that was so beautifully said. That does not mean you're not supposed to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable and being a crybaby is two different things. And if you are a crybaby, you just stress everyone around you. So I believe men, we are born into become leaders. We got to earn it. And a leader carries so much load. And then he has other leaders around him where he can be vulnerable with them in a safe environment and share struggles that people can understand. But I think as a man, being strong means that you can carry the load and you'll find your pack where you can share those vulnerabilities with them. Now, if you're a personal brand, one second, Rob. If you're a personal brand, I think it will benefit you to open up around your struggles, because then people can see that you're a human, that if you can do it, they can do it, right?
Yeah, I really like what you just said there. So let's say I'm going through some business struggles, a big business deal fell through, some bullshit happens, okay? And I come home to my wife, who's just been with the baby all day, and I start unloading on her. What the fuck's she gonna do? But maybe you talk to some of your friends who are in the entrepreneurial space and maybe they can help. But sometimes, like what you just said, it's sometimes pointless unloading all that onto certain people. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
It kind of brings me up to the point that, between the two of you guys know each other, you're related to each other. As women, we have no issues telling our girlfriends, call it complaints or whatnot, right? Like, men don't necessarily bitch and complain to their guy friends. However, there is something important that a lot of men are missing, and that's this sense of brotherhood and camaraderie, and they don't have an outlet to speak to people. So can you talk a little bit, Rob, about not complaining, but the importance of community and having men in your circle?
Yeah, for sure. So I've always been big on community. We've built a lovely community for ourselves here in Marbella. Even like the friends I've made in the fitness industry, that's another little sub community I have. And I have another, like my Irish community as well, of all the guys that I went to school with back in Ireland. We actually went to a boarding school, so we lived together for 6 years growing up. So they feel literally like my biological brothers, because we actually spent from 11 to 18 and beyond, because some of us went to college together, living with each other. So community is so important. Brotherhood is so important. And like, especially with my friends that I grew up with, like they really feel like biological brothers. And I don't say that lightly. And whenever I'm going through anything, I always have those guys to fall back on, and that's invaluable.
Mike, what can you say about the importance of brotherhood and community, and what does it do for men who aren't plugged into something like that?
Well, there's no doubt it's super important, but you also have to watch out who you hang with. Like, for a good example, have you ever realized that, a totally different subject here, that the dog always looks like the dog owner? Have you always thought about that?
yeah, I see that every day.
Right? If they've been together for 10 years, it's just like they walk the same, they are the same. And I was driving down, I'm in California now, I was driving back from the gym to enter this live here. And I saw this guy all suited up with a big gut, and his dog, and they walked the same way. His dog was also fat, and you could just see that they were the same. Now, I came into the wrong brotherhood. So I came into a brotherhood who had toxic habits. They had, too many, overload of indulgences. And the importance of that, of letting go of the wrong brotherhood and go into a brotherhood where you can acquire what you admire. So find people that you admire. So for example, when I entered Rob's brotherhood, I knew that this is the place I want to be, because Rob has many attributes that I really admire. So I can learn from him. And also we're on the same vibe. So Rob has been fortunate to have good brothers from his childhood. Well, I don't have many from that time, because my childhood was more likely gangsters. So that's not brothers into my future life. But definitely in the future now, what I'm building is a brotherhood where we all vibe on the same standards. We keep each other accountable for the standards. And I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I think one thing I actually noticed a massive shift since COVID actually was that people have been desperately seeking out community since that whole 2020 era, and now I actually think it's very easy to find a community of like-minded people, but you have to be proactive in seeking it out.
And you have to earn your way in. That's also what. Because
that's it. You can't just show up with bad vibes, negative vibes. You got to show up, bring a positive attitude and be someone that people want to be around.
That's right.
Well, Rob, as you leveled up in life, and I don't know if success for you was gradual or immediate, how did your circle of influence or friends change, and did you have to let certain relationships go along your journey?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the guys that I went to school with, we went on very different paths, but I still love them. I still best friends with them to this day. But I actually didn't go out in Dublin, where I'm from, for 3 years. I didn't go out drinking. I didn't go clubbing, anything. 2014, 15, 16, I disappeared from the world. And I said, I'm going to be a fitness YouTuber. I'm going to be the biggest fitness YouTuber in my country, in Ireland. In order for me to do this, I've got to stay in for 3 years and build a massive coaching business, build a massive fitness YouTube business, upload 800 videos. That's how much videos I've uploaded. I'm going to start working with the biggest brands. That's who I'm flying to Texas with tomorrow. I said, I've got to do all these things. And in order to become this person, I'm probably not going to see you guys for 3 years. And they were actually very supportive. Obviously I saw them for coffee once or twice, but I didn't go out or anything. I was like, I'm going to see very little of you guys for 3 years. And they were like very supportive. They were like, you go, Rob. We can see you're obsessed with the gym. You're obsessed with fitness. We'll be here for you. And, you know, they're all at my wedding, you know, like, which was last year, you know, they're all there. But when I kind of went on that journey into the fitness industry, I made loads of new best friends as well. Like, you know, all the guys, other fitness YouTubers. And then when I moved to Marbella, that, you know, I met a lot of new best friends again. So your community is always going to change. But if they really value you, they'll always be there for you. Like my friends that I went to school with, even though I went 3 years without seeing them too much, they're still my best friends to this day. So that's a good way to judge if you've got a real group of people behind you. But in order to become the person you want to be, sometimes you're going to have to disappear for a while. And I think Chris Williamson calls it the lonely period or something like that. But you're going to have to disappear and pretty much transform yourself if you want massive action.
Yeah.
Were you single or married in this time frame? And what I'm curious about that, because there are people who put their head down like that. Either they have an extremely supportive partner, or they don't. Sometimes men consider relationships as a distraction. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so in my first couple of years on like embarking in the fitness industry, I did have a long-term girlfriend, and like we were, you know, going out with each other since we're like teenagers, very young. And then we broke up. I was single for about 3 years. And then I'm in my current 7-year relationship, who I'm now, you know, married to with a child. So I've only ever had like 2 or 3 really serious relationships in my whole life. I've always been a very long-term relationship guy. So at the beginning, yes, I was in a relationship, then single for a little bit, and then found Linda. But I have to say, when I was single, my life was more chaotic. You know, like then, because it was at that time I had a little bit of money, you know, things I just was about seeing some success. I had free time. I was traveling around a little bit, and you get distracted, dating, going out for cocktails, going out for drinks, you know, being the big man and all this. It can be very distracting. So my most successful periods of life are when I've just got a ride or die girl beside me or behind me, whatever you want to say, and they're just supporting you. And something I love to say, if your other half, your girlfriend, your wife should be your cheerleader. Every morning when you wake up and you got this beautiful woman beside you, Rob, you're king of the world, king of the world, king of the world. Someone saying that, it's impossible to lose. And that's what I have, you know, like, and now I have Isabel and Linda, my daughter. I'm gonna do Rob. So that's why I'm not joking. They do that every
Yeah, I wanna send you 3 pom-poms right now. 3 sets of pom-poms. Yeah. Like, let's go, Rob. That's so good.
I think, to answer your question, I've seen the most successful in a relationship, but it can't be a toxic one. It has to be a very supportive one. They have to be your cheerleader, and vice versa.
I just would love to know what were the qualities that, did you have a list? Did you know was it a vibe? Like what were you looking for? Can you remember?
I know I sound like such a meathead here, but it actually kind of comes back to fitness. Like, they have to be into the gym. Like, they got to be in good shape and everything that goes with that. Because I personally don't think fitness is it's just a physical thing. I think it's a whole personality. You know, it's discipline. You know, it's all these admirable traits. It's delayed gratification. It's every positive trait you can have pretty much comes back to fitness. So that is kind of that's my kind of my green flag, my characteristic, or my non-negotiable. They got to be into the whole fitness life.
Well, I mean, that's fair. It's you know, what's in the real world is that you have these men that want the woman that you're dating, and they're not offering that, and that's where it becomes really. You know, Mike, how many men do you know that you see them on dating apps? They want the 10 out of 10, but their body's a 5 out of 10, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And if they then get a 10 of a 10, she's not a 10 of a 10, because there's no way a 10 of a 10 girl would like to date a guy with a gut. It just, because it conflicts values. So that means he's going after the transaction. So, you know, Rob said it beautifully. He said, you know, the fitness is just a side product of your character. So it shows a lot if you are in shape, especially the older you get, because the older you get, the more commitments you also will have. And it really
Exactly.
shows how committed you are as a person to stay true to those values. So one of my, I met a guy called Jason Watson in Arizona, became a good friend of mine really quick. I felt home. He's 50 years old.
Yeah, I stalked his page. I was like, I thought he was lying. Like, I thought it was like a joke.
No,
When he said
and
he
he's
was
a
50, I honestly
multi-millionaire.
thought it was like rage bait or clickbait or whatever you and then I looked into it. He actually is 50.
He's 50, man. That's true.
That's crazy.
So being 50, having 2 kids, having a construction business that's doing millions for you, jumping into and I learned something. I met Andy Elliott also in Arizona, and the way they treat their business is so beautiful. So Andy Elliott, he has set up so high standards for himself. He has so high standards, and I love what he does with his people around him. He does not let people enter his inner circle or business if they do not live up to those standards. They are out in a second, and I love that.
Yeah. So Rob, how do you deal with bad days or things that don't go your way? I'm going to assume as a business guy, as an entrepreneur, you've experienced some sort of failure, unless you're Pete. I don't know, maybe you haven't. How do you deal with those things?
I've had too many failures to even list. What I do is I use humor, so I actually laugh at myself, and that kind of resets the whole frame. So if you can't laugh at yourself, you're gonna have a long life. Humor is extremely powerful. Humor is a very powerful tool, and sometimes when things are just going wrong, you just gotta have a big old laugh at yourself and say, look, the absolute state of you, like you thought this product launch was gonna go so well and no one bought a damn thing. Oh my god, like back to the drawing board, you jackass. So humor is a good one as well. Perspective is another one that I like to use. It could be so much worse, like seriously. And I go really deep on perspective. And so this is actually the key to my positivity. And it sounds negative. Let me explain it correctly. There's so much shit going on in the world. There's people getting their legs blown off in war. There are people with terminal illness who are not going to live another week. There are people in like there's the worst circumstances, just third world countries who don't have access to clean water. And I'm like, so some shit goes wrong with me. Like, let's say a product launch or a video that doesn't do well on YouTube. And I'm like, what the fuck am I complaining for, huh? Like, there's just such dark shit going on in the world. I can't really take it too seriously. So there are 2 things that I use. I use humor and perspective to reset my mood.
Amazing. Mike, what's your secret sauce to dealing with the unexpected loss or, when you're having a bad day?
But I realized something, again, I got so deep, guys. I went into the cave of spirituality. I became so deep. I had a hard time getting back out, to be honest. but I realized that in my head, I have, you all can test this. I have a little roommate, and that motherfucker is neurotic. It talks all the time. It constantly talks and changes subject. And if you don't know what voice I'm talking about, you can try to say hello to it in your own mind right now. You can also try to scream it in your own mind. That just talks, and it has opinions about everything. And it's like, imagine that you took that person out of you and set it in a couch. You would be like, call 911. This person is fucking sick. You can meet a new girl and you can be like in the car. You can be like, I wrote this down this morning. Maybe she's not the right person. Am I really getting nervous about this? What should I do? She doesn't care for you anymore. Why she didn't call? So if everything goes wrong, I'm just noticing what it says. And I'm taking a witness position. And I'm like, I'm entertained. I'm like, holy shit, brother. You are really stirred up. So that's actually called art of detachment. And I believe real spiritual growth is to understand that little roommate you have in your head is not you. It's not you. And when I have bad days, it goes nuts. You're gonna get poor. You're gonna lose your money. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, bro, can you chill for a second? Like, we just had a 50K month. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're out of your mind. So I take a perspective as Rob. So that's a perspective change. I look at my dialogue as my roommate. It's not me. And sometimes we get so caught up in it because it hypnotizes us, right? We literally believe in everything it says. And at a certain point, it stimulates emotions in us that makes us feel like shit. And I take a step back and say, why do you want to make me feel like shit? Like, I'm good. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I love that as well. Sometimes you just got to zoom out. And so life is like one big Bitcoin chart or the S&P 500. And the chart's always going to go, the chart's always going up and down, up and down. And if you know, you can click 7 days, 30 days, 1 year, 5 year. The chart can look terrible on a 7-day perspective. But if you click 5-year perspective or even 1 year perspective, you zoom out, oh, the chart's green again. So life is like one big stock chart, you know, it's always like this. And if you zoom out and you play the long game, it's probably all right.
I love that. Let's talk about routines or habits that you keep to help you keep mentally and emotionally grounded. I know because you're both fitness guys. I get a lot of even just general questions. Should you work out in the morning, at night? When should you, what kind of foods do you eat? All kinds of things. So do you want to lead with that, Rob, in terms of the routines or habits that you follow?
Yeah, for sure. So I try to do my most difficult tasks first thing in the morning. So I usually wake up at about 6 or 7. Mike is probably laughing at me. He's like, is that it? And I'm like, yes, that's me. Deal with it, right? So I wake up 6 and 7. This is my routine now for the last decade, right? Wake up 6, 7, whatever. Caffeinate, hydrate, electrolytes, supplements. I don't eat, I'll just be like wired, nootropics, everything. I'll be stimulated. I'll be hydrated. I'm ready to go. I'll go on my phone straight away. I've tried that whole don't look at your phone for the first hour of the day. No, that causes me more stress. I'll get on this bitch straight away. I'll get on my laptop and I just smash out like as much work as possible for the first few hours of the day. A lot of high energy stuff when I'm most stimulated. Replies to clients, emails, mapping out videos, recording videos, whatever. My working day is 7 to 10. That's it. Like that's when I'll do 90% of my work 7 to 10. Then 10 to 11 a.m. I'll go to the gym, still fasted. Just have a killer session. 11 to 12, I'll actually do like content in the gym. So again, I'm still very sharp. Around 12, I'll have my first big meal of the day. And like when I have that big meal around midday, I start to relax a little bit. Then I'll go for a walk. I'll go for a swim. I'll get out in nature. Now it's around 2 p.m. and between 2 to 4, 5 even, I'll just do like some easy chores to get through, just general admin shit. And then I'll try clock off at 6 p.m., relax, wind down, notifications stop coming in on my phone. And that's a typical day. And if I can do that every single day, meaningful work in the morning, killer gym session, healthy food, get out in nature, relax in the evening, I'm the richest man in the world.
That's great.
Yeah.
Until the kids and the wife, they ask you for certain things. Where do they fall in the priority? Right?
I'm with them 24/7. So that's the key as well about, working online. But oftentimes, right, and I say this to guys that come to me for like, not just fitness coaching, but for a bit of life advice as well. I go, what does your dream day look like? And then just reverse engineer it from there. And a lot of people think like, oh, my dream life, it's all Lambos, yachts and private jets and all this. And it's like, no, like the majority of guys will just be so happy if they can work out, get outside and do meaningful work. They're the 3 things. And that life is probably a lot closer than you think and a lot cheaper than you think as well. Like there's some months I spend nothing. I spent a Mercadona in my gym membership. Like seriously. then there's some months I do fall out a little bit, But a lot of guys, they think their dream life is they got to be a millionaire and they do this and that. It's not the case.
Wow.
So that's my morning routine. Do the hard shit first.
That's awesome. Mike, I think everybody knows your routine. You are just like killing it on fire.
I do ice baths as well, but
you do?
Just usually when the sun is up.
Yeah.
We actually have the same ice bath. We have the exact same brand.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Exact same model. It's a killer.
That's great. So Mike, you're a lot more, again, what's really great is what works for each of you works for each of you. And I think what's really important is that, but however, for people who are looking to follow a pattern or routine, I ask because not everybody, even knows what would a perfect day look like and what should they be doing in the day and when should they actually, and in my line of work, they call it eat the frog, right? Do the hard.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I was about to say that as well. Yeah.
Brian Tracy. Brian
Yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah, because it's
Exactly.
fucking disgusting to eat a frog first thing in the morning. But once you do that, everything else is easy.
You're never going to eat it in the night. So
Yeah, exactly. That frog is living to see another day.
it's out of it.
Yeah. And so do you do content on a daily basis, Rob? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that kind of like your consistent way of getting yourself out there?
Yeah, for sure. And I find when you don't speak to the camera every day, you get rusty at it, and you get worse at it. So it's just like a muscle, like anything else. Like that's why I even love doing little chats like this and podcasts like this, to keep you sharp and to keep you fluid as well. So yeah, it's an everyday thing, be it recording, scripting, editing. That's like the main focus in my life.
Rob
That
actually
is the
got me
biggest
started on my YouTube.
needle mover.
You got me started on YouTube. Remember, I asked you for advice. He gave me an advice, and I just started. And then I said to him, "Rob, I'm not getting any views." He said, "That's how it is for everyone, bro. Just keep going."
That's it, and it weeds out the pussies, it weeds out the losers who are like, "Oh no, I'm not getting any views." It's like you don't deserve it then if you can't get past that initial phase.
I agree with you, man. Yeah, because Rob's, Rob is I admire Rob, man. He was in my mind, and every morning I was just like, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna get that," and I kept going, and suddenly it just said, "Boom!"
Yeah, killing it.
Rob, how much strategy do you put into like what you're going to create? Because you said you do a lot of like your emails and everything, or do you go by like, at this stage in your career? Is it what's organic?
Yeah, so you can, if you actually go onto YouTube Studio, like you can look at your best performing videos. You can see where people clicked off the video. You can explore your best titles and thumbnails. You can do the same on Instagram, like the analytics that we have access to, and then you can run them through AI, and you can ask AI to generate new video ideas based on your best performing videos that you've done. You've access to all these analytics. But in order to get those analytics, you need to just start. How do you have analytics if you've got 0 videos to pull from? So my advice to anyone watching this and you want to get started in the content game, close your eyes, forget about tactics and everything, and just get to 100 videos on whatever platform, and on every platform ideally. Just get to 100 videos first, and then you can start, being a bit more tactical on all this and looking at the analytics. But in order to start to get all this data, you got to just start. And then you also you got to speak from the heart as well. Like you can script a video and hit all these bullet points that you want to hit, but sometimes it's very easy to tell what's too planned out and what's just from the heart. And I think it also takes away the fun of it. Like sometimes you're like, yeah, I can make this video and I know it's going to perform well, but that's not what I want to do today. So it's a little bit of it's a mix of using the analytics and being tactical and being smart, but also just having fun with it as well.
I love that. Mike, do you want to share anything about the content game and what you've
Mike
learned?
has been blowing up this year, so he's the man to talk about.
Yeah,
man. Listen, I learned some huge lessons in content game. And I think the 3 biggest lessons I learned is, number 1, consistency. Just consistency. And you're going to suck at first. And the reason why I believe you suck is because you haven't yet found your authenticity. You haven't yet dared to actually just be you. And we're so busy on trying to go viral. And it's important, I get it. We're so busy trying that. But, I believe that the content game is about connecting with your people. So that was my biggest learning, be consistent. Number 2 is, when you run a business where your personal brand is the biggest pusher for your business, it says everything. Personal brand, personal. Yeah. And I discovered something recently that what I try to do, on my content game, of course, I post 3 posts every single day. And I have a routine for that. And I do what Rob says. I look at my analytics. But sometimes I don't think. I just talk from my heart. Funny enough, though, they blow up when I talk from my heart.
Yeah.
I learned something very, very interesting, especially on Instagram. That is, you're such a little bitch for the algorithm. So you'd be like, so one day, oh man, I got 15,000 views on my story. And then you start talking, shit, it's down to 3,000. What the fuck am I doing wrong? But then I realized, man, if those fucking 13,000 don't want to watch me, then let them. I don't give a fuck. I want to talk about my life. I want to talk about who I am. So number 2 is get really personal. Consistent posting, Get really personal. And number 3 is do collaborations. Find someone you can do collaborations with that matches your things, or you can debate with, or you can have a good discussion with. And I think that's the 3 most important ones that I learned. And the third one is the one I just started with, And so my content game is constantly posting, opening up, and don't be afraid of showing who you are. I see some people, they change their accent when they open the screen. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you speaking British for?
Yeah.
You're not British? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, people are craving in a world of AI and over-edited content. People are now gone back to just craving authenticity, and it's kind of I saw someone call it the FaceTime method. People want to feel like they're on a FaceTime to you, and I think that's a really good way to describe it. And that's definitely something.
Yeah,
Mike
I
does
love
very
that.
well.
So let's talk about. Hold on, this is here. What advice? What's your advice for men who feel stuck? They know that they want more, but they don't know where to start.
Yeah. So that's a question I get a lot. And I say, strip it back. What's the last thing that made you laugh really hard? What's the last thing that made you really happy? What's the last thing people came to you for advice on? That's actually my favorite question. What do people ask you for advice on? And so when I was feeling super lost in life, when I was around 21, I was like just dropped out of college. I just quit my job, and like I was just going nowhere. And I was like, Rob, you're at a turning point in your life. Like 21 is such a pivotal age. Like, what are you going to do? What's the only thing people ask you for advice on? What's the only thing you're consistent at? And for me, that was, of course, fitness and going to the gym and training and nutrition. So at 22, I started my YouTube channel, and that was the single best decision I've ever made in my entire life. So that was when I felt most stuck in my life. That was when I felt extremely stagnant. Like if I was to describe one word that described myself at 21, it would be stagnant. And I just thought, what do people ask me for advice on? Double down on that, go all in on that.
It's so great that you found that out at 21, because there's people at 41 and 51 that are asking that same question. And to that point, I think you'd give the same advice. I think sometimes people think it's too late because they're a certain age. What do you say about that? You were 21, but what do you say to the 47-year-old man or the 55-year-old man?
Well, for sure, people are now saying that to me. I'm 34 now, and people are saying to me like, Rob, what are you going to do in 10 years? Yeah, old man Lipsett over here. And people are now saying, Rob, what are you going to do in 10 years? And I'm like, the biggest podcaster in the world is 60. Like literally all the guys that I follow, the biggest ones are all 40s, 50s, 60s. Like literally, you just look at the analytics, like Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, every single one of them. They're all guys with experience. How can you give knowledge and give stories and give experience when you haven't even left college? Like seriously. So you just look at the guys at the top, and they're all guys well into their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's as simple as that. The proof doesn't lie.
What's your answer to stuckness, Mike?
Yeah. To be honest, you're never stuck. You can feel stuck, but you're never stuck. You always have a project to work on. So sometimes we're stuck because we don't know what should we do next, right? That's why we're stuck. Where should I go in life? You have this. You have you. You always have the biggest project of your life, which is you. So, you look at yourself and you figure out, okay, hey man, no, let's just say the basic one. Am I in shape? No. First project, get in shape. Because getting in shape demands so much character work. So you could develop so many sides of you of getting in shape. So let's say you're 40 and you're not in shape. Back to basic, bro. You lost yourself. Back to basic. So in the moment you start to work on yourself, I guarantee you answers will come to you. It's just like you open up a gate where answers and ideas will come to you. So when I was stuck in my life, the first thing I did when I stood there with $1,000 to my name on a fucking kick bike on a mountain in rainy weather in Marbella, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And, the first thing I said to myself, okay, get in shape. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to make money. I just knew, okay, get in shape. It's not going to cost you a lot. It's not going to cost you a lot. What, 60 euros a month in a fitness and, some cheap fucking, protein from Macedonia. Okay, I'm going to get in shape. Yeah. And started that path. Like, this is a basic advice. When I started to get in shape, what happened? My confidence started to come back. My self-worth and self-esteem started to come back. And funny enough, I discovered that when you work on keeping the promises to yourself, your self-trust goes up, your self-esteem goes up, and all those limiting beliefs that keeps you stuck, they disappear because you start to trust yourself. So instead of saying to yourself, I'm the guy who doesn't follow through, I'm the guy who doesn't know where to go, you start to say to yourself, I'm the guy who shows up.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who shows up. And then limiting beliefs kind of disappears. And that's where I took it. And guys, I just want to let you know, I took it from $1,000 to my name, from multi-millions. And I have a bad month now, I do 50K on a bad month.
There you go.
Great.
No,
Awesome.
So,
and it, because you've been there and you have the blueprint and you're doing the work. You're taking action. That's literally what's going on, right? You guys are taking action. So I have a relationship question here for both of you. What are the non-negotiable values that you look for and protect in your closest relationships?
Yeah. So I gave a few earlier on the podcast about, fitness and health and looking after yourself and keeping a high standard for each other. I think as soon as you start getting out of shape, that is very disrespectful to your partner. That is, you're just saying, I don't care how you see me. I don't care about you. I'm going to let myself go. I think that's not only it's disrespectful to yourself, but it's very disrespectful. It's even more disrespectful to your partner, actually. So everything that comes down to fitness and health, really. But another one that I want to add to that as well is you always got to remember you're a team and to never put each other down, especially not in public. And that's something that many couples do. They'll fight or they'll bitch about their other half to their friends. And that is, I think that is a cardinal sin. I think that's the worst thing you can do, because at the end of the day, like, it's you and her against the world. Like, you are the team. And of course, arguments happen, like, obviously, but you have to just say, well, okay, we need to stop. We're a team here. We're on the same team. That's actually word for word what I say to Linda, or what she says to me if we're ever having a disagreement. We just go, whoa, hold on a minute. We're on the same team. And then we're like, oh yeah. We're like, fuck, like, this is stupid. This is so stupid. It's us against the world. So I think just saying that just say it, like, just what I said, we're on the same team. Once you say that to your partner, you're both just like, it's so stupid to think otherwise.
Now, Rob, I've never met Linda, and because I know that fitness was already in her life because you wouldn't have chosen her otherwise, I'm just so curious, how did pregnancy play a role? What role did you play in that pregnancy? Because there's a lot of ladies, I'll tell you, in my first pregnancy, I really struggled. Like, I personally, I didn't even recognize myself yet. My later pregnancies, and my last daughter, I had a daughter at 44. Okay. When I had her at 44, I bounced back so much faster because I had learned about what not to do in my first situation. So can you talk a little bit about that, especially for men who want to be supportive and at the same time, be cognizant that their wife is pregnant, but pregnancy shouldn't be an excuse, because I've seen a lot of women that bounce right back.
Yeah. So there's actually, like, when you're pregnant, you can actually pretty much do everything the same. You can still go to the gym. You can eat pretty much every food. Like, some people say you shouldn't eat raw fish or raw undercooked steak, but you can essentially eat just your usual typical diet. You can lift weights. You can go for walks right up until, you can actually lift weights right up until like 2 weeks before your actual due date. So people think it's a time to just completely shut off. And that's not the case at all. And there's actually even more research coming out that the more weights you lift, the more cardio you do, even taking creatine is amazing for the baby. Now, I'm not even joking. It's neuroprotective. All this new research coming out. So my biggest piece of advice is to, just have a really lovely 9 months, like a lot of self-care, like a very wellness orientated 9 months. And that's exactly what we did. And as a result, I got in the best shape ever, because we didn't drink alcohol for 9 months, and like we just had like a really relaxing time. We weren't traveling, we weren't going out or anything. So just like really have a very fit, a very wellness orientated 9 months. Postpartum's actually the more difficult part, because Linda had an episiotomy, which is like a tear down there when you give birth, and so that was actually a more difficult time for her. So then you just got to listen to your doctors and go back to the gym when you can, but always just be nourishing your body with healthy foods, and doing what you can. But now she's killing it in the gym once again. We have a home gym here in the house. She's always out there, and she's to be honest, like she's looking pretty damn good again. She's looking amazing. No, like you got
baby number 3.
Like honestly, she's ready to go again. Like she posted. We were in Dubai last month, and she posted like this pic holding the baby there, and I'm
my
Wonder Woman. I'm so
Wow.
proud of her. I'm like, what the hell? Like what a good example for our daughter as well, to see that picture in the future. You know, see her extremely fit parents. Like we were actually looking at that picture once. There's another one as well. Where is it? Is it?
I'm gonna creep your wife now, okay?
Good to do. I'm very proud for her, you know. But so there was a picture of, and it's me and her, and we're holding Isabel, and we're on the beach, and we're like, wow, we're really gonna look at that picture in 20 years to come, and just, you know, be a good example for her. But so to answer your question, anyways, I go off on tangent on podcasts. Is during pregnancy, keep things as similar as possible. Afterwards is actually more difficult, and do what you can. That's the one. That's the one.
Look at these apps,
bro. That's super.
That's
super parents. I'm just gonna say it. That's super parents.
That is.
But Linda's more impressive.
It's
not like I gave birth, you know.
Like this time, mom and dad, right
Oh
there.
There you go. That's what's up. So I'm very, very proud of that. Yeah, and that was our first family trip ever, and first trip me and Linda in like year and a half. So we had a great time. Dubai's great.
I think that's showing really leading and living by example, and the true partnership. So I would say you're very qualified to give this advice right now. So
I think so too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So for the single guys out there that are looking to attract a partner, what do you think would be, aside from fitness, what are the character traits? Because women always share with me, so the number one, the funny thing is, Rob, humor. It's not even funny. Humor is a big deal for women. They find that an extremely, similar humor also, because unmatched humor is not good, right? What, and this, gentlemen, if you're listening about what women are asking me for, obviously the health aspect, but it's emotional intelligence, it's the ability to communicate, and it's to make them laugh. So, and character. This is something I would love to know from each of you. What does character mean to you?
I think it's in the first 4 letters, charisma.
Yeah.
You know, and like what you said with humor, there's a great Marilyn Monroe quote: "If you can make a girl laugh, you can make her do anything." And that's the truest thing I've ever heard.
But do you have some good dad jokes, Rob?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure if you just hang around me for a day, you'll hear a bunch of dad jokes.
Yeah.
This guy's a happy, he's a happy camper, man. Being around Rob is a possibility. But I think it comes foundational from, I learned something. You cannot make other people feel about you. You can only make people feel about you how you feel about yourself.
Yep.
And that's was so foundational for me. And it's very hard to be humoristic if you're insecure.
Yes.
Right. It's hard to have this legit humor that some people might not like your humor. Fine. But you're so authentically secure in yourself when you throw out jokes, and those who connect with that, they can see that when you can have a laugh about yourself, people be like, geez, I didn't get it, but that's quite funny. So it comes a lot from this confidence, right? Confidence is a big thing. If you want to go out of the dating market,
and I think there's something that it's called lifestyle setup. So you need to look at your lifestyle and be like, if I was a woman, would I want to enter into this lifestyle? Like, you got to live a cool life. Like a lot of guys, Let's be real. They live a kind of a boring life, and they're boring to be around. You got to ask yourself, if I was a super hot girl, would I want to go into your lifestyle? So you gotta. Do I travel? Do I have cool hobbies? Do I do cool activities? Do I have cool friends? You got to ask yourself, is my lifestyle something that a 10 out of 10 girl would like to be a part of? Like, let's say you're a moving train. It's the Rob train. Would you, if you're a girl, would you want to jump on that train, or would you be like, nah, I'll catch the next one?
Yeah, I'll catch the next train.
Exactly.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. What an analogy.
So you got to ask yourself, is your lifestyle cool? And like, if you were a girl, would you want to be a part of it? Oftentimes the answer is no.
Yeah. And I think it's so legit, because sometimes there will be, so you said before that there was this period of time where you are alone. And I think that's so important that men.
Oh, I wasn't dating, no.
No, because in that time, your life is boring. In that time, fine. I call it the proving ground, right? You work your ass off. You don't have connections. You can't call your friends. You sit alone in the car. You have everything on your shoulders, and you're making less money than you're worth. And things doesn't seem to work out. But there's so many guys who never took that time. So I've been taking that time personally now for 2 years, and things started to look brighter now. And I just started seeing a girl now. I said, she's hitting me in the end of my boring life. So I had to tell her, listen, you're not entering something funny here. So this train is going to go through some changes. So I think that's a good analogy of saying that, do you want to jump on this train? But it's also, be honest, because if she don't want to take you in your low time, as long as you have a vision, if you know where you're going, you say, we go with the train. But this is where the train is now. If she doesn't want to be with you in your low times in your life, she doesn't disturb the high times.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, Rob, we're just about to wrap up. This flew right by. Thank you so much.
I'm enjoying it.
For really opening up on dating and relationships. And because you've been married how long now? Or you've been with your partner?
About a year and a half, but we've been together 7 years. So
you've been okay.
A long time for that,
for those who don't know, we just celebrated the Lunar New Year, and I don't know if you've heard, this is the year of the horse. The year of the snake was all about shedding and getting rid of the stuff that you didn't like, and the year of the horse is about movement and change. And
horse cock.
Literally. And by the way, it's the year of the fire horse.
That's where my mind goes.
The fire horse. Oh, you guys did that at the same time. I'm dead right now. This is Man Up Mondays, guys. It's raw, unfiltered.
Oh my God.
This is where their heads at.
Hurts from laughing. Oh
I think they had too much testosterone this morning. Or
horse trend. The year of the trend.
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry, comedian. Come on.
Listen, I'm not offended. I'm the middle child of two boys, so Mike knows that. I'm a woman with a man's brain. So I will say this, Rob. What advice can you give to men right now who are really looking to man up, level up in their life for 2026? Whether it's something they can do, something you want to leave them with. You've given us so much to think about and talk about. So what could you say, knowing year of the horse?
So something that I changed my life overnight. I'm not joking. One morning I read a book, and the next morning I said, I'm going to look at the glass half full at every situation. I'm going to have delusional optimism, and I'm just going to see what happens for a week. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just going to be delusional positivity, turbo positivity for a week, and just see what happens. And from that moment, my life completely changed forever. So I'm going to say, just try that. Just say, whenever an opportunity comes your way, it's not ideal, look at the glass half full.
That's so. I have to say, I've been in the business for so long. Like I've interviewed like thousands and thousands of people in my line of work. I've never heard what you just said in that complete phrase. So that's really awesome. Remarkable. I love that. It's like it's new, but I know it's like it's new. And by the way, it's not an easy thing to do, to be
Yeah,
that.
oh no, it's not. But it is and it isn't, because it's like you can just tell your brain to do things. Like you can just do things, and you can just wake up tomorrow and be a completely different person. But so many people think they can't. They're like, no, I'm stuck in my own ways. I have to be this certain. It's like, no, you can just flip a switch. You can just completely reinvent yourself in a millisecond.
That's right.
Rob Lipsett, everybody. Rob Lipsett. Mike, it's our live. So what do you want to tell people?
Yeah.
We're going into 2026 knowing it is the year to take action.
Listen, I'm gonna just just listen to what Rob said. That's I can't say it better. I can't say guys, listen, I'm gonna end it with this. I was in the darkest moment of my life. I'm going to put you in the story. I'm standing here. I've been in Macedonia for the first time in my life. I had to look at the groceries prices in a long time. And I'm riding this kick bike, and I'm like 230 pounds and, 6'2" tall, and it can barely take me up the hill. It's raining. And I was starting to laugh. I was like, what the fuck happened? And I switched my mind and I said, you know what? I'm just going to get in shape. I'm just going to enjoy this time and get in shape. So I did that. What Rob said, I flipped the switch and I started there, and it changed my life in the course of 1.5 years.
I love that. And Rob, just because I heard you when you said your schedule, thank you for donating an hour of the time that you're supposed to be doing shit. Okay. But you're here giving our audience your wisdom. We really, really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much for joining us. Guys, Rob Lipsett, everybody. This is another Man Up Mondays. And we're so thankful that you've joined us. If you want to learn more, you've got both these wonderful gentlemen. And thank you. We'll see you again.
Thank you, Rob.
Round two soon. Round two, please.
Yes.
See you soon, Rob.
After you come back, maybe with your wife. I gotta chat with you and your wife on dating.
There we go. She's got some game to spill.
All right,
awesome,
guys.
Much love.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Take care, Rob.